Hey, how's it going? Today is December 4th, Wednesday. This is just one of my, first time kind of vlogging a little bit over this. And, this here was a climb that I've done quite a lot. Uh, I would do this little climb when I would commute to work, and, I do this climb maybe, 3 times a week. And, it's a really fun climb. It's not like crazy steep or anything like that. I think it's about half a mile in total. It's called Roland's Climb on Strava. I gave this a really hard effort, super hard, and I haven't really cycled much at all since Tour de Tucson, and man, I could really feel it. And I really did give this a hard, hard effort, and I was still 10 seconds off my personal best. Um, but yeah, I just figured I'd do like a little quick Tour de Tucson recap. The race was amazing. I did super well. I was excited but nervous about doing the 100-mile distance just because I wasn't really able to ride my bike that much. I did a half marathon race down Mount Lemmon, and I, PR'd that, and I did super well on a really challenging course, but it took a lot out of my body. And I had something going on with my left hip. And, about 2 weeks out, 2.5 weeks out from Tour de Tucson, I did a 40-mile ride, and then the next day I tried to ride again, and my hip just felt really funny. So I didn't do any riding the 2 weeks leading into Tour de Tucson. So I was like a little nervous about if I'd even finish under 6 hours, if I'd be able to do the full 100, and just how my body was gonna go through it. But all in all, like, my body held its own. Like, the only challenging part that I had during the whole race got to me about mile 82, 84, somewhere around in there. I would, I was, I started with the third wave, so, I'd ride with the group, and as soon as a faster group, I, would see them out of my corner of my eye, pass me, and as soon as they passed, I just hopped on their wheel. And as soon as another faster group came, I just hopped on their wheel. And I might have burnt one too many matches doing that, but I eventually got with a group that I was riding with for a while, and yeah, I swear, just once we hit 80 miles, 20 miles left to go in the race, they just kicked it into another gear that I just did not have. I could not keep up. And yeah, I got dropped, and I was in no man's land. And that was the most challenging part, just alone. My legs started cramping. I never had my legs cramp cycling before. And man, but eventually I caught my second wind, and I finished hard and I finished strong. Got with a nice group the last 10 miles, and I even went in for the sprint finish. So it worked out, and I out sprinted the two guys that I was with. So if you haven't checked out my previous video of my Tour de Tucson, it wasn't much footage, but it was the only footage that I could get just because I was so dialed in. And this is me right now dying on this climb. I am so gassed out, and I'm just so disappointed at how much of an effort I put in, but did not get a great time. So here I'll do a little bit of explaining on, what the future holds for me in cycling. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
I am dying. Oh my gosh. Still trying to catch my breath. It always kind of amazes me how much you do something, just how much better you get at it. But then when you let up just a little, your performance dropped. Like, I gave that really hard effort and I was still 10 seconds off my personal best. Man, that's what happens when you go to cycling, you know, 3 to 5 days a week to maybe 1. But I was feeling sick yesterday. Today, feeling dehydrated. No excuses. 10 seconds off personal best. When feeling crappy, still a win. Still a win. I think my next race will be the Tour de Mesa in April. So I'll do the longest distance that they have there. And then that's like, you know, the far out, but training for that, I am gonna try to, somewhere in Tucson, get a cup on Strava, try to make the top 10 somewhere. I don't know which segment, mostly likely one by my house. I'd like to get a hill one in and just earn a cup. So in training for Tour de Mesa, I'm gonna be hunting for that Strava cup. If I could make 10th place and get that cup, I'll be extremely happy.
Yeah, so I am now officially gonna start looking for a segment that I've done and seeing which one would probably be the easiest to get a cup on. I live on the east side of Tucson, and there are plenty of segments over here, and there are some really crazy fast guys. And you know, I was watching the Netflix documentary Icarus, and you know, it follows the cyclist who's an amateur, does this race, and now being involved in cycling, I kind of understand what he's talking about. Like, a lot of the guys that are there, they're just there to finish the race. And, then you have guys that are good. Then you have guys that are, you know, really good. Then you have amateurs. Then you have pros. And then you just got those freak beasts that are just on some other level. And I'm not even good. I'm just, I'm okay. Like, my time for the Tour de Tucson was okay. For my first time doing it, I'm super happy. I'm super proud of myself. I only started cycling in August, and you know, me being the kind of person I am, you know, living a life of recovery, I got super obsessed and just spent all my free time, all my time cycling. And I made huge improvements, huge. I mean, every time I was riding these segments I would do, I would hit a PR. And, you know, I PR'd a couple of segments on this ride. And, you know, it really showed me that what I need to do is continue with the training, continue with the consistency, and keep up with a certain mileage a week. If I hit a certain mileage a week and I add in the structured training, I feel confident that I could get a cup on Strava. I really do. Plus, I think there's a couple of segments that are probably out there that no one really tries to, you know, they don't really shoot for it. I don't know. Maybe it's silly of me to want to have a cup, but I just feel like having a cup on Strava would really mean that, like, whoa, you're kind of serious and you're good. So I would like to be good at cycling, and I think getting a cup, if you can get a cup on Strava, then you're good. And the guy that just passed me right there, he was the number one on all the segments that I was on. I was number two on all of them, and he was number one. I think his name is Timothy. I see a lot of these guys that I pass on them on this ride, and then I check my Strava and I check my segments and I see who's on the leaderboard for that day, and you kind of see what other people are throwing up. So hopefully I can be that person that throws up those good ones.